All right, fantastic. Hello, everybody out there in Coaches, Consultants, and Trainers Network. I'm super excited for today's spotlight. Today in the spotlight, we have Marquez Mosher. Hi, Marquez.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good, good, good. I'm so glad to have you on, and everybody gets to meet you today. Tell everyone a fun fact or something about you that you want to share.
Okay, well, I actually was somewhat prepared since I watched some of the other ones, and I actually wanted to do a fun fact. So I can make a mean ice cream pie.
Really?
And by that, a homemade ice cream pie, meaning that you take either, depends on your choices, although I'm a traditionalist, you've got your graham cracker crust, and then I like using straight chocolate chip ice cream. And then you put that, you actually have to soften the ice cream, let it sit out for a little bit. So it softens up, so it's easier to scoop and spread. And that's easy. Everybody can choose, some people use an Oreo crust, some people use different ice cream flavors. And then this is where it gets interesting. This is where you get to choose your toppings. And since I'm a chocolate person, I will go triple chocolate, where now you've only got chocolate chip ice cream. Then I will sprinkle chocolate chips on top of all of it. Then you put the magic shell, which hardens up, and you put that all across the top of it like a drizzle. And then you sprinkle hot chocolate, the powdered hot chocolate, all over that as well.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I think I'm just getting heavier just talking to you right now.
I've actually had people say that people say that's way too much chocolate. And sometimes it can be. So, and then of course you can, oh, and I forgot, actually, once you do all that, then you got to put it back in the freezer, let it sit for a couple hours, get it frozen back up again. And then you literally pull it out, use a pie cutter to cut it up and serve it up and stuff. But yeah, I started doing that, decades ago. And it became kind of family tradition as far as like the desserts for the kids. They would all get to choose which ice cream they wanted, which flavors, which toppings and stuff. And of course you could experiment. You can do all sorts of stuff with it if you want to do M&Ms as a topping or, but like I said, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to that, but that was actually something that's kind of, that's, you don't see a lot of them, but
now you can be known as Margaret Mosher, the ice cream guy.
Yeah. So yeah, it was actually, I think it was a natural progression from when I was younger, when I ended up actually having ice cream and cookie dough, and I'd mix it like on its own before it became a thing. Like I would just do it with a thing of cookie dough and a thing of ice cream.
Yes. So I know that that's not what you do for work. I want to know what are you doing? How are you showing up in the world today?
Well, what I'm very big on perspective. To me, perspective, everything starts with perspective, and then that creates mindset. And then mindset influences your decisions. And those decisions dictate certain outcomes, and those outcomes become your situation. So when I say that perspective can improve any situation, that's the progression. And that's what I try to help people do. My background is very diverse. I've come from a lot of different worlds, and personally and professionally, and being able to do that, it helps me relate and see things from different points of view. So that's how I like to come. I like to make sure everybody remembers. I talk about why, as far as being that I want to inspire people to embrace perspective and positivity as a means to overcome their challenges and reach the goals in their life. And that's what I try to do. That's what I try to bring. That's what I want to show up as I call it, a perspective specialist. I focus very much just on that. Because it's not something that everybody, its cousin is empathy. And these are things that aren't necessarily taught. They're not necessarily things that people are too aware of. They know about them and they understand mindset. We hear about that all the time. But I think perspective is the filter that we use to actually create mindset. That's how we test things. That's how we look at the world. And that is actually what dictates the mindset. So that's my take.
I just realized that my sun is coming through my window and it's like really super bright. So you're a coach and you start people out with a perspective mindset, find out like, okay, they tell you what's going on with them, and then you give them your perspective on what you see, what you can see from the outside.
Exactly. I call it a kind of a challenge experience, and it's basically challenging what they already are currently doing, but they're thinking, and sometimes it works out that what they're on the right track. It just takes a little tweak. And again, that's a perspective. And on the other hand, it can also be individuals or organizations. That's why I kind of go through as a consultant more than a coach, because it's kind of a show and go. It's not something that I will stay with, oh, I can, depending on the situation. A lot of times when it's small business, yes, it's more of a duration kind of thing where it's months and months and months. Individually, sometimes it's just kind of a little kick. And then I usually want to, like we talked about, turn it over to an accountability partner, because that is really what is going to make it stick. I can point out where, things, avenues that you can go down to, or all sorts of things. But if you don't stay on it and keep going, then it doesn't help.
Well, I love this. I think that's fantastic. It's like an outside perspective. Somebody can come in and just say, you know what, these are some changes that, I would make some suggestions. You're, more of a consultant, like an expert in the area on perspective.
Yeah.
And then people can go ahead and go down their own road. That's fantastic. Now, do you have a website or a Facebook page? What's the best way for people to reach you?
The easiest way is probably go to the website, and I will put that in the comments. It's just visionperspective.com. All the links are there, whether it's a contact, email, Facebook feed, Instagram, and everything else. It's easier just to have everything in one spot. So visionperspective.com is the easiest way to get a hold of it.
That is fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on our spotlight today and telling everybody a little bit more about yourself.
No, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Well, you have a fantastic day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.